Vice President Harris says she will earn and win the Democratic nomination for president. So far, she's received a slew of support from Dems in both the House and the Senate. Over the course of her vice presidency, Harris has been a staunch advocate for a number of issues, including abortion access, immigration, climate change, LGBTQ+ rights, and the economy. But even with her record, is it enough for her to secure the nomination and win the White House, potentially? Listen to what Senator Amy Klobuchar had to say earlier on CBS Mornings.
It's not a done deal. There's going to be a process. We're a big tent party, and as Vice President Harris has said, she is going to earn it, and she's going to win.
Our Nancy Cordes joins us now from the White House. Nancy, you were there at the event where Vice President Harris gave her very first remarks. She praised President Biden and also talked about her deep relationship with the president's deceased son, Beau Biden, as they were both attorneys general. What do you make of those remarks, and what do you think Harris's platform is going to look like?
I don't know that her platform will look that much different from the Biden-Harris platform. They have been together for almost 4 years now. Mm-hmm. They see eye to eye on most of these issues. Instead, I think what you'll see is a change in her emphasis on some of those issues that they agree on. For example, she has sort of taken the lead for this administration in talking about reproductive rights, which we know is one of the biggest issues for Democrats in this election. I think she will be out there emphasizing that issue far more than President Biden would have. She has a criminal justice background. She was the state attorney general of California and a prosecutor. So I think you could hear her talk more about issues of justice and policing and criminal justice than President Biden may have focused on. You know, even when it comes to the hot button issue of the war in the Middle East, she has been much more outspoken about expressing sympathy for the Palestinian people than President Biden has been. He has gone there as well, but he always tries to emphasize the fact that Israel is a longtime ally of the United States. So I think you'll hear her speak a little differently about that. The big challenge for the vice president, Lana, is that one of your main jobs when you are the VP is you never want to get out in front of the president. You always want to be careful to remain in the background. We saw that with Vice President Biden a decade ago when he went further on gay marriage than President Obama was comfortable doing at the time. But now she's got to step out of his shadow. She's got to chart her own course while being cognizant of the fact that he is still the president for the next 6 months. And so that's going to be a tricky road to travel. We'll see how she does it.
Well, and when you discuss the lanes that she'd been assigned by President Biden in some ways, in which reproductive rights and access was a major one, another one was immigration. And on that, her record has come under scrutiny by Republicans who blame her for problems at the southern border. Talk to us about what, and they've been using the phrase immigration czar or border czar, which was not something that was formally conveyed upon her. So I'm hoping you can give us a little bit more information about the facts versus the claims and help us sort that out.
So another one of the time-honored traditions for vice president is getting handed sort of the thankless tasks that the president himself does not necessarily want to be burdened with day in and day out. And in her case, one of the earliest tasks that she was given was to take a look at some of the root causes of migration and try to figure out ways that the U.S. could tackle that. So not exactly dealing with the situation at the border, but looking at why people travel thousands of miles through very, very treacherous terrain to try to get to the U.S. in the first place, the crime in their own countries, anarchy, chaos, lack of work, et cetera, and to try to deal with the countries where so many of these people are traveling from and escaping, to try to stem the flow. That's a pretty difficult job. And so, it's not clear she made a ton of headway on that or that anyone could have. But there's no question that Republicans have already focused on that issue. It's something they were hammering President Biden on, even though he did make some changes recently to amnesty policy that have dramatically brought down the numbers of people who are crossing the border every day.
All right, Nancy Cordes, appreciate all of your insight.
You got it.